guys, and welcome back to episode 4 of Ignite, a Wildfire podcast. I'm your host, Maddie Callender, and here are our guests.
Hi, I'm Sean.
I'm Naomi.
So, they just got back from a track meet today. How are you guys feeling?
Pretty good.
Literally like 30 minutes ago.
Yeah. No, it was rough. It was cold and wet.
Yeah.
It's kinda...
We thought it was going to get canceled.
Oh, yeah. We were all planning on it getting canceled so that they would be here earlier.
But we still made it.
Setup was great.
Yeah.
We're still here. So, me personally, first time hosting. I've been on an episode before. But it's kind of nerve-wracking just because, you have to keep conversation bouncing.
Mm-hmm.
And our podcast today is our episode, our topic is very out there.
It is out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
No, just even deciding like what to make the podcast episode about
Yeah.
was really hard because you wanted to do one thing and it just didn't really work out with people.
Finding times that people were open
Mhm.
and free to do this tonight. But it's okay, we're here, and I'm so excited to talk about this with you guys.
Yeah, this was a process to get it,
Yeah.
but we're here.
So today's topic, though, is the tension between pride and humility in our personal lives and in our walk with Christ.
Mhm.
So, just straight off the bat, what comes to your mind first when you think about that?
Tension between pride and humility. Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know. When I think of tension, I just think of, like, when you're playing tug of war and the rope in the middle is just, like, you can hear it just stretching, like,
like creaking.
Yeah, so it's just two opposite forces going against each other.
Mm-hmm.
It's really important because, I mean, these are two huge things
Yeah.
that we need as Christians
Yeah.
to understand, so.
Yeah. They are, like, really big things to understand. And I think it's hard, like, finding the difference between pride and, like, confidence.
Mhm.
And, like,
Yes.
being proud of yourself, but, like, not in a bad way.
Yeah, like, oh, look at what I made for my mom, you know?
Mhm.
Like, you're allowed to take pride in that, but,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I thought we would start off with the definitions of pride and humility, like, the straight, like, from dictionary, Because I feel like a lot of times, like you just said, being, like, proud of something you've done and then taking pride in that, or when does it cross over to, like, being prideful?
Mm-hmm.
So pride is choosing our own thoughts and ways over Jesus, believing our truth is greater than his.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything, do you agree? Would you want to add anything to that?
Dude, that sounds like the definition of sin.
I know.
Yeah.
That's good.
It sounds like literally the definition of sin.
Mm-hmm.
And, when I think of pride, I just kind of, like, that's like the root
The
of
willful,
sin.
what is it? The willful transgression against
Willful
Jesus?
transgression.
Mhm. Yeah.
You believe that. You're up there
Yeah.
Yeah.
with him. Come on. That's
Yeah.
a little bit crazy. But we do it all the time, so
Mm-hmm.
is it really that crazy to us?
Yeah, I agree. That's good. Anything, Naomi?
Yeah. Well, like, whenever I think of pride, it's just, like, it's putting, like, everything else below you. Like,
Yeah.
God
Mhm.
and others below you and elevating yourself above everything
Yeah.
else.
And it's not even like yes, it is Jesus, but it's also like all your friends, your family.
Yeah.
Like you think you're up there. It's it could be with anything.
Mhm.
Your
It's
sports,
like selfishly elevating yourself.
Yeah. That's good. Great stuff, guys. So then we got humility. Living surrender to God, choosing to honor others, and walking in confidence without arrogance. I thought whenever I read this, my biggest thing that I took from that was without arrogance.
Mhm.
So I feel like that's when the line crosses over from being like proud of something, taking whatever it is from what you've done into like, oh, I'm arrogant in this. Like, I'm like, oh, only I did this. I'm the best. Like, we will all play sports. So like,
Mhm.
y'all two do track. There's other people who do it, but if you're like, oh, I did this, I feel like I did good. Not saying you did the best out there,
Mhm.
So.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. I feel like I was humbled today at the track meet.
Yeah.
Oh,
Definitely
yeah.
I was
humbled.
humbled.
Mhm.
How are y'all's events today?
They were...
They were all right.
Yeah.
It was,
Alright.
I mean, I can throw out all the excuses out there on why I
Yeah.
didn't do as good as I think I should have done, but at the end of the day, I didn't do great. So,
Yeah.
and I can't be like, I think blaming people for something that you're doing wrong is prideful.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
And that's something we all struggle with. I do that all the time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Pointing
You just wanna give
fingers.
all the excuses.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, when you point fingers, 3 fingers point back at you.
The common saying.
Yeah. But if you really think about it,
It's
like,
true.
It's
Yeah.
really true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay, now, okay, I don't know. The definitions for the both of those just, they're polar opposites. Like you said, pride is like, seems like the exact definition of what sin would be.
Mm-hmm.
But then what does humility sound like to you? Like what, that, to me that sounds like Jesus.
Yeah.
He was full of humility.
Yeah, it
There
sounds
was
like,
not a moment he was prideful.
dude, it sounds like our God, because he's all the way. We're not even worthy to say his name, guys. Like,
I know.
and he says that we're worthy, so that's just humble in itself.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that he sent himself, like he sent his son down
Ugh.
here to not even just like
Makes me wet
live
again.
with us, but to die for us,
Uh-huh.
man,
When
that's
we've done
humility.
nothing good for him.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Guys. This is insane. Okay, so next I thought kind of thinking about how we have all been prideful. We're full of both of it, humility and pride.
Mhm.
We've touched base with both throughout our entire lives of 16, 15 years old, you know. But I have a couple of questions for you guys. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, starting off with pride, when have you experienced pride in your own life? Which is so many times. Like for me personally, I can think of 5 that have happened today that I've experienced pride in my own life. But what's something that's like you solely remember, like, oh, I was so prideful in that moment, and you think back on it to this day?
Do you want to start?
Sure. I mean, like, I actually, like, struggle with pride a lot. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's just like, oh, I could do better than them, or like, oh, I'm better than them because
Mhm.
this or that. But it's like, it's hard. I have to keep reminding myself, like, no, I'm not
Yeah,
better than
you're not the best,
them
yeah.
anyway. But yeah,
That's
Mhm.
good. Yeah.
I think it's the same for me. A lot of times, like, come on, like, even in church, like, when I hear someone
Yeah.
talking, and I'm just like, oh, man, I could do so much better.
Oh,
But
yeah.
that's just so
Yeah.
prideful and just arrogant. Or when I
Yeah.
hear someone, like, talking, and they're saying really good things, I'm like,
Mhm.
ooh. Like, I should be like, ooh, that's good.
That's
like,
good, yeah.
man. But sometimes I'm just like, huh, okay. And I feel like that's really prideful, because
Yeah.
yeah.
it's just like, oh, I didn't know that
You're
you were
sitting in
at my
church.
level, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
But sometimes it's okay to be like, oh, wow, like,
Like I didn't think
what?
about that. Yeah.
That's really good.
Mhm.
But if you're coming from a place like, oh, you're saying that? Like, oh,
Yeah,
you're the
wow.
hypocrite?
Yeah. Cause
That's hypocritical
yeah,
in
we're
itself.
all hypocrites.
Yeah, that's really hypocritical in itself.
Yeah, we're just-
Yeah. I agree. That's really good. But I feel like for experiencing it, so like, you know, singing on Wednesday nights and stuff, I'll hear a song and the words are so good. And I should be thinking, like you said, oh, that's so good. I didn't think of it that way. Like I never thought to put that in that perspective, but instead I'm like I'm sure I thought about that sometime. Or
Mhm.
if I'm thinking about their voice, I'm thinking, oh, I feel like I could sing better, instead of like sing better than them, instead of, wow, like they're using God's gifts,
Mm-hmm.
the gift that God gave them for other people.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Okay. The next question: how has pride affected your relationships, your spiritual growth, or mindset? Wow. Wow.
It's a big question.
yeah.
Straight off the bat, I can think of like in school,
Mm-hmm.
grades,
Mm.
test grades. I could get an amazing grade, but some person gets one point better than me, and I could
Oh,
be
yeah.
thinking, oh, wow. Like I could either be like, oh, like good job, Sean, you did so
Mhm.
good, you studied hard, that's like good for you. Instead, I'm thinking like in my brain, I'm either already downing myself, like I could have studied better, which
Mhm.
all the way already is prideful, because why am I not congratulating you? I'm thinking about how I
Oh,
could have
yeah.
done better, you know. So that's what I go to first in my brain.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, probably like sports, like going on a sports team,
Mhm.
and I'm just doing the best I can.
Yeah.
And then when I see someone doing the best they can, I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I get competitive.
Yeah.
But then when they start, like, outdoing me, it's like,
Oh,
oh,
that's when that line crosses.
oh, okay. You're going there. So
Yeah.
it's just like, I think pride has a lot to do with, like, setting a standard that you cannot reach.
Oh, that's
So-
good.
I think I set a standard, like, in sports, for example. If I see someone run, for example, like, a 9-second 100, which is, like, crazy fast.
Yeah.
And I'm over here running, let's say, 11 or 10.
Yeah.
I'm just like, nah, I'm better than that.
Yeah.
Like, what? No, I'm not. Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's like everyday things. Sometimes I feel like we have to have this super complicated answer for why we're being prideful, like all these excuses.
Mhm.
But like deep down, I feel like it's so surface level, guys. Like
Mhm.
talking about it can be really hard because tough topic. No one wants to be told that they're being selfish, being
Mhm.
prideful.
Yeah.
So yeah.
it is.
Okay. Our next question is, what has been helping you overcome it or helped you in the past? Like if you've had a moment where you're like in such despair talking with the Lord, what have you sat back and thought, what helped me overcome this?
Yeah, so like whenever I've gotten better at recognizing it recently too.
Mm-hmm.
So like whenever I like notice, oh wait, if I'm having like prideful thoughts, I'm like, oh, I need to slow down.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I just have to remember like no one is better than me, and no one like we're not at different levels. We're all at the same level because like
yeah.
Jesus all died for all of us, and
Yeah, that's
we didn't do
good.
anything to deserve it.
Yeah. I want to bounce off of that. Like you said, like no one's better or like whatever. But that made me think comparison. Comparison is such a thief of joy. And we hear it all the time. Like we tell each other that like in sports and grades in school with friends, with like I don't know, how you look or something. You tell ourselves, I tell myself, no, comparison's a thief of joy. I don't need to think about like, oh, that girl looks so pretty. But then it goes back. It just goes in a full circle. Why am I not thinking like, oh, they're pretty? Like, they're God bless them. I'm already thinking of how can I make myself look better, And again, surface level, that's like already prideful. I feel like.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that like the best thing to do, is just having someone there to like correct you. And
Ooh.
even like especially like if you're prideful, they're gonna have to be patient with you.
Yeah.
So they have to be a really patient person to correct you. So
Yeah.
like and just like really direct you towards like reflection.
Yeah.
To reflect on like
And let you know that
what
you're
you're
not
doing.
always right. Yeah.
right.
And that made me think of like how when we were talking about the topic, you're like, oh, can we be part of like what you pick? And I was like, of course.
Mhm.
And that's how we came to this conclusion because we're on the prideful side, and
Mhm.
Naomi I feel like is on the humble side, which again, everyone has pride and humility. We both have humility even if we're prideful at times. But I feel like it's that perfect balance. Like you need friends, you need your friendships centered around Christ, relationships, because without that, how are you going to have that balance? If someone, it's just different personalities too. Like some personalities automatically have more humility, more pridefulness. So like, how are you going to be in a friend group with all prideful people? You're never getting anywhere with that,
Well, it just helps to have like different viewpoints. Like everyone has a different perspective on things, and like having someone outside of your own mind helps you.
Because sometimes you don't realize that you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then having someone outside the situation helps.
Yeah, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now we're going to talk about humility, those questions. So how do you manage staying humble? I struggle with that personally because like I'll tell myself, oh, I'm being humble. I just stepped into being prideful. What?
Exactly.
So how do you keep that level,
No, I definitely feel what you were saying. Really like,
Oh, I'm doing good. Yeah, I'm doing really good.
I was humble about that, and then I'm like, wait, now I'm not being humble. Yeah, it's kind of hard. You just,
I think a part of that's overthinking it too, because like especially if you are humble in a moment, and you're like, what, I was humble. I'm proud of myself.
Yeah.
Like being proud of yourself is fine.
Yeah.
But we can talk about that later.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. And like over like hyping yourself up, like you're allowed to say like I've been like, oh, I've been in the word more, like that's okay to say. But the moment you're like, I don't know, I'm doing it for myself. Like I need to check this list off. I need to check it off a box. Or I feel like I'm definitely the only one in my friend group who's in their Bible every single night. What?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'd say like, keeping yourself humble. The best way to do it is just with people. Yeah. Just people around you. And prayer. Prayer is good too. People like, pointing you towards prayer is always going to be the best.
The key, yeah. Okay, so the next question is, where's the line between confidence and pride? Being confident in something and then turning that into being prideful about it.
I think like a big line is like comparison. So like if you're looking at yourself and you're like, oh, I'm proud that I did that.
Yeah.
Like, there are times when that's okay. But then if you're comparing yourself to others, like, oh, I did better than that person. That's still, like, that's
the
elevating
perfect
yourself.
line.
And then,
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's being prideful.
Yeah, I agree.
Because Paul talks about that in, I don't remember what
It's
verse.
okay.
But he's like, just worry about yourself. Like, yeah, and, like, focus on yourself. And, like,
not
don't
literally
boast.
not elevating yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Sean?
I feel the same way. It's just, yeah, I feel the same.
Yeah,
You
that's
said
good.
it so well.
I feel like I could bring up this verse now. I had Philippians 2, 3, and 4. And it says, "Do nothing out of selfish ambition or conceit, but in humility consider others as more important than yourselves. Everyone should look not to his own interests, but rather in the interests of others."
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's so good. And I found this actually when me and Michael were talking about this whole topic of the podcast, because you're allowed to, like you said, be proud of something, feel accomplished. But especially if it's like for someone else, like if you're making something, I don't know, something like a craft or something, you're making it for someone else, you can be proud, like, oh, I made this. But the minute you change that to, they're gonna love this so much because it's like the best gift they're ever gonna receive, you know? I feel like that is right away, that turns into pride, you know? And I feel like that verse kind of talks about that, just because you shouldn't be doing it for yourself, nothing out of selfish ambition or conceit.
Yeah,
So,
like, what do you think Jesus' ministry would look like if it even had a little bit of pride in it? Come
that's
on.
Crazy.
Because, dude, such a humble guy. I can't even just imagine.
I can't fathom that, because
it's
in
insane.
today's culture, it's so like out there, but it's not.
It kills us.
It's not okay.
It literally
Silent
kills
killer.
us. Yeah, it literally kills us, even if we're not realizing it.
Yeah.
It's literally it's death. The wages of sin is death, and the root of sin is pride. That's I'm gonna say it how it is. The root of sin is pride.
That's good. That also brings me to my next verse. I don't have it pulled up, but it's Isaiah 14:12 through 15. That talks about Lucifer's fall from heaven. That he got kicked out of heaven because he was prideful. He thought, I'm better than Jesus, so let me do things my own way.
Yeah.
And then that loops us all the way back up to the definition of pride, thinking our ways are better than Jesus.
Yeah.
Who are we to say that? Who are we to say our ways are better than Jesus? Like, I can do this my own way. I don't need prayer. I don't need my Bible. I can do this. What? That's how Lucifer turned into Satan down here.
Yeah, I mean, when Jesus was on the cross, he wasn't just like, these guys are idiots. He was like, no, Father, forgive them.
Yeah.
So good.
Oh, that is
Forgive these people. They don't know what they're doing.
Yes.
They didn't know what they were doing. They were so full of themselves.
Yeah.
But Jesus was like, instead of scorning them and being like, these guys are idiots,
Yeah.
which I would have totally done that, by the way. If I was Jesus, I would have been like, these guys don't even have a clue.
Like, the angels were saying, like, say at any second, come down and we will. But
Yeah.
he didn't. He didn't
was
do
like-
that. He wanted to save us. Oh, that's so
Yeah.
good.
I think when we're looking for signs and like affirmations from God, it's pretty prideful.
Yeah.
A lot of it comes from pride. Some of it is pretty like naive. It's like, oh God, this would be really cool if this and this, because ask and you shall receive.
Yeah.
But like when we're like, oh God, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do this and this and this, and like, oh, okay, let's take a step back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's take a step back.
we have to put his will above our
Uh-huh.
will. Like, we can't let
Trusting him, not our
Yeah.
own. Not our,
like
even
even Jesus
good.
said that whenever he was gonna die, he was like, Lord, take this cup from me. But and then like your will be done, no matter what. Like,
yeah. Oh,
overall.
that's so good.
And so I was praying that over the track meet today.
Really?
So I was like,
Oh, yeah?
Lord, I don't really want to run today, but then I
Yeah.
was like, but your will be done overall.
That's good. Yeah, and you guys made it.
And
Yeah.
it was a great track meet.
That's
See?
Me and Naomi, the
Lord
whole
uses
school day
it.
today, we're like, it's supposed to rain, but it's dropping percentage. It was like 95%, 85%,
Yeah.
40, 30.
It was so anticlimactic. It didn't-
I know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she was like, it's not going to rain the rest of the day. And I was like, I do not receive that. It's going to rain, whether
Yeah.
you make it or not.
But it was like,
I
that
know.
was your will over the Lord's will,
Yeah.
And I was like, I really just
Wow.
don't want to run today. I'm just,
But
but I guess I needed to, and I guess
Yeah.
I needed to be humbled today,
Yeah.
and that was just needed to be happening, because, like, God's really looking out for you. Like, He's gonna take all that pride away. He's gonna replace that with humility. He's gonna humble you,
Yeah.
And when our pride's like getting attacked, when our pride is getting attacked because our pride's strong, it's
Yeah.
it's sin, it's strong.
That's
Like
good.
when that's getting taken away, we're gonna get really uncomfortable
Yeah.
because we're so
yeah.
used to this like fakeness.
Cushioned, like, like, oh, it's okay to be prideful because, like, if I'm, as long as I'm not crossing over the line, I'm stepping right up to it.
Oh yeah, we get way too close to the line.
We get comfortable.
So deadly.
Yeah. Wow,
Yeah, that
that's
is
good.
Terrible.
So, talking about these verses and, like, how this led us, how do you think these verses encourage or challenge us? Like, they're kind of opposites, how it can encourage us, but how does it challenge us? Because, this is the word. This is the truth. This is what it says. This is what we have to do. So, I feel like it can encourage us in a way, but at the same time, like, there's some hard things to read in here, like, especially if it's calling us out in our sin. That's so hard for me to read, especially. Yeah.
It's like the big corrector right there.
Yeah.
Like that's like your
full of truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I like in your verse, it makes me think of when it says, "But in humility, value others above yourself." It makes me think of the other verse, and it's like, "Those who humble themselves will be exalted, and those who exalt themselves will be humbled." So like,
Oh, that's
we should not
good.
be exalting ourselves, but if we humble ourselves, then the Lord will exalt us for His glory.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me of that song, the song "Worthy," when it says, "Be exalted now in the heavens," and as His glory will fill this place. So I feel like as we drop our own pride, His presence fills the room. If we if we spent maybe 10 minutes in prayer of like remove our pride from us, like in this moment, like and as we go on too. But I feel like that'd be such a crazy experience. Like I've done that before in my own time of prayer. And His presence is just so strong in that moment because pride is the opposite of what Jesus is.
Yeah,
He has no pride.
down a whole barrier between us.
Exactly. It's like breaking down those walls.
Mm-hmm.
Such a thick wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, the gospel's like a love story. Like we read in the Bible, like, for God so loved the world, He sent His one and only Son, and like it's just like that's so humble. Like that's the complete opposite of pride. Like love is patient and kind. It's not. It doesn't look at itself. It's not. It doesn't boast.
Yeah, that's good. That also reminds me of humility. I used to think humble and humility, like the same word. When I was little, I used to think humility meant like embarrassment. And as I grew up, I still thought that, still kind of think it, because to a sense it is.
Yeah.
Humility, you're dropping your pride. Our pride is what gives us our confidence sometimes. Our confidence in the world, though. So
that's good.
I feel like as we drop our own pride, you kind of get embarrassed. Like if you do something dumb, you're going to feel like, oh man, that wasn't funny, or that wasn't smart. I shouldn't have done that. So, but as you're not like, nah, man, I meant to do that, like, for sure.
Yeah.
How prideful are you being in that moment? And I do that, too. Like, I've done that so many times, especially with, like, in sports. Oh, my gosh. I'll do something wrong in volleyball, and they'll be like, did you mean to do that? Yes. You didn't do your part correctly. I did mine correctly. You didn't step, like, that's, like, the epitome of pride.
Yeah.
Especially for, like, I don't know, teenagers in sports,
Yeah.
Yeah, I just kind of want to talk about, like, our community and stuff like that, or just, like, being in a community. So, like, we're a church, we're a family, and so the just straight up, the enemy attacks us more than the world.
Yeah.
He's, if you're in a war and your main goal is to get the strongest base.
Yeah.
To take over the strongest base. So the enemy's trying to do that. And so we're kind of like, oh, well, we need to be all these things and this and that. And we just get so caught up in what we need to be and how we need to be like. And it's good how people are pointing back to Jesus. But whenever we're like, oh, we're doing good right now. This and that.
Yeah, we're doing great.
Like, oh, the tithes have come in and we have made a lot of money and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like, okay, calm down for a second. Because, like, the enemy is so real. And, like, the enemy, Satan, is pride himself.
Boastful, yeah.
Yeah, so sometimes I feel like we kind of doubt that the enemy's coming for the church, but
but it's so true. It's
he's
like
coming for the
evident
church.
that it's here. Yeah.
We've been talking about that lately, like, we've been talking about that a lot in different places, but like whenever we get to the place where like, oh, we're good, like in our,
Yeah.
because from our spiritual
We're
place, then that's
safe,
when
you know?
the enemy
Oh,
attacks us most.
yeah.
Or, like,
He's just like,
Oh.
yeah.
I don't know
like
if you
at the
remember
height.
that. Yeah, I remember that.
Like that what you just said reminded
Yeah.
me of at Extrav. Our
did we
trip we
talk
just
about
took this
that?
last weekend. What'd you say?
Never mind.
But this trip, the enemy was moving,
Mhm.
guys. Let me tell you. I feel like everyone I talked to had some kind of attack from the enemy, personally, and to their other friends. Like when we first got there, like me personally too, I was like, no, I'm good. You know, like we got here, my stuff is at the hotel. I got my seat, we're good. I'm gonna worship. But then the minute we like sit down and I'm like thinking of, like, I'm hearing the word, you know, I'm hearing in the songs and what the people who spoke have to say. Literally at that moment, it's like, I don't know. That's just when the enemy moves the most. So like, it's when we feel like after worship, especially for me, dropping my pride, our walls, our barriers, that's when the enemy tries to attack more. So like once he gets a sense that, oh, she's starting to, you know, feel more humble about herself and like about her friends and doesn't have as many walls put up, I'm gonna attack now. So like that made me think of that because
Oh my gosh, this is kind of random, but I was thinking like sometimes in church we're like, oh man, if only Adam and Eve never sinned, I could have done so much better. But here's the thing, you're falling for the exact same sin that they fell for in that moment by saying that.
Wow, that's good.
The first ever sin was pride.
Yeah.
That's good, because, oh my gosh, because Eve thought, I can do things my way.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, she's smarter.
They
Wow.
both were like, man,
That's good.
I want to be like God.
And then they blamed each other.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And they're like, no, you did it. You did it.
Wow, full circle.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Just pride,
So,
man.
talking about the broader impacts with that stuff, how we kind of, again, touched base with this, but what's a more evident way that you think pride affects the church or our friend groups, relationships, you know, what, like, because it's evident it does, but just like what are the main ways you could just like, list on fingers, you know, that it affects us.
Yeah, so like, you know, I could say like it's kind of like you have pride up here and then you have like offshoots of pride.
Yeah.
So I think one of the big ones is gossiping because that gossiping is hardcore judging. Like
it literally
it's
is
coming from a
behind
spot
their
of
back.
pride. And
Because
it's
who are we to judge who God created? We're probably doing the same things. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that gossip is
So gossip.
Very
gossip
much
is
so
a big
pride.
one. Everyone struggles with it. I still do. Working on it.
I feel like it kind of causes separation because whenever you like exalt yourself above someone else, like, oh, I'm better than them, then you're like putting yourself on a different level than them.
Oh yeah.
And it's harder to bring yourself back down to their same level. And then you feel like you have to like either look down on them or like it's just like so separating. I don't
Even not
even know
like exalting yourself, but just talking bad about them. Even then, you're like taking them down. So like, even if you're not like, oh, I'm better than them, you're just like, oh, they're
You're not,
trash.
like-
You're all that's
the
the same thing. Yeah.
You're not seeing them as like equal
A child
creations
of
in
God,
Christ.
yeah.
Yes, like your brothers and
And,
sisters in Christ.
Yeah. And that's a big thing for me. Going back to comparison, I'll compare myself to someone, and the minute I start feeling like threatened, I guess, I don't know. As an example, like my looks, you know, I think, oh, I'm pretty.
Yeah.
Oh, this girl's really pretty. The minute I start thinking, oh, she's like way more pretty than me, I'm gonna start thinking like, oh, but this is wrong with her. This no, that's not good. Something's off. You know, is that not pride? Like, I'm not being humble in that moment for sure, but I'm not necessarily saying I'm better. I'm just downing on her. So I feel like we do that a lot with people.
I feel like also like people pleasing is prideful.
Oh,
because
100%.
like you're looking to please them, which sounds selfless, but why are you doing that?
Yeah, that's good.
You're doing that so they can feel some type of way about you. So it all just kind of circles back because like if I'm just like, oh, like for example, if you're, I don't know, let's just say like you're really good at volleyball, I'll just be like, oh yeah, I love volleyball, like this and this and this.
Yeah.
Like I'm just trying to like go up to you basically.
Oh my
like I'm
goodness.
putting you higher. That's prideful.
Yeah.
That really is
good.
prideful because you want to go up to that standard.
Yeah.
Like
Just to even just
It's
like
kinda
start
crazy.
conversations. Like, why do you need to start a conversation with that?
Yeah.
yeah.
There's literally a verse that talks exactly about that, where Paul's like, it's foolish to talk like, oh, I forgot what it was,
It's okay.
but like what they were bragging about, he was like,
Uh-huh.
"Oh, I follow Paul's," and then
Mm.
you try to compare yourself and like bring yourself up to that level.
Yeah.
And so it's like, "Oh yeah, I follow Paul's too," and then it's like,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
"Oh, I do this," and then like, "Oh, well, that."
Like,
and
why
you
are
have
you
to
telling
like
us
keep
that,
getting
you know?
up to their level,
Mhm.
but like,
Yeah.
you don't have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was a story in the Bible, like, I think it was Galatians 2. Peter, he's sitting down with the Gentiles and
Mm-hmm.
having communion with them and talking about, like, circumcision.
Circumcision.
And then the Jewish people come along,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, they're like, "Oh, Peter, why are you associating with these people?"
Yeah.
And Peter's like, "No, I'm circumcised. Like, no, I'm circumcised.
Oh,
I'm good.
automatically, like,
These guys aren't circumcised, but
yeah,
I'm circumcised, so I'm
defaulting
fine."
back, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then Paul was like, "Peter, bro, what are you doing?" And even like the other guys, like Barnabas, fell for it, and like
Yeah.
those people were being pulled into peer pressure.
Yeah. Oh, peer pressure.
Yeah.
And it's
Like
just
that,
like,
yeah.
bro, like, what are we
Yeah.
doing? Like, and Peter, that's like the rock. That's the rock of the
Yep.
church. Like, he's up there, but his pride got to him, and he
Mhm.
tried to confirm with the world.
Yeah. Which happens to all of us, but you
Mhm.
know, there's always that extent.
Yeah.
So, how can we recognize pride creeping in, even in spiritual environments, like how you were talking about church, Adam and Eve? When you're listening to a sermon, I guess, and instead of thinking, "Oh, that's really good," never thought about it that way, you think, "Meh, I probably thought about that,"
Mhm.
or "Oh, I feel like they're not talking very good. Like I could be up there speaking better." So like, how do you recognize that? Like, how do you already know, like, how could you catch yourself in the moment, you know, to kind of stop you? You know how, like, if you're gossiping, you'd be like,
Mhm.
"Wait, I'm sorry, I need to stop." Or you're about to say something and be like, "Oh, never mind." So how could you do that to the equivalent of pride?
I think if you get frustrated really easily,
Mhm.
or you're really just like quick to anger, like
That's a sign,
there's
Mm.
something deeper going on.
Yeah.
Like it's literally a silent killer.
Yeah.
There's something deeper going on. Or whenever you're just like, I don't know, maybe you get upset really easily
Mhm.
about certain things, and it's just like you're setting a standard for yourself,
Mm.
you know?
Yeah, that you may or may not be able to
Mhm.
reach. So when you're going to try and reach that, it's going to
You just have to look deeper, because it
Yeah.
really, like, I'm telling
Yeah,
you,
everything
all
has
of our
roots.
sins link back to pride.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like a really, like, bold thing to say, but, like, dude,
It's
all of
true.
our sins link back
I
to
know
pride.
we watched this video and in Bible class, and it was the one talking about sin is a willful transgression against God.
Mhm.
In that moment, you were choosing death.
Mhm,
You're
yeah.
not choosing to follow Him. You're choosing
It's
your
our
own way.
wages.
You're choosing
Mhm.
death, because in this world, it's without God. You know, it's without
Yeah.
Jesus, unless we have Him in our heart. You know,
Mhm.
so when we sin, we're taking pride that no, it'll be okay. I can just, like, you know, and okay, temptations are so hard. Like,
Mhm.
I'm not disregarding that, but there's a chance, or there's a moment that, you know, like, oh, like, you think about it after, I'm being prideful, you know, I'm not choosing to live with God in this moment. I'm choosing death. I'm choosing to go
Mhm.
my own way, which is
Mhm.
pride.
Yeah. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. So,
Wait, what was
next
the
thing.
question again?
oh, how can we recognize pride creeping in?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say like that one verse, like, find me and search me, and if there's
Mhm.
anything that's not pleasing to you, then like take it away.
Disregard
There's
it,
a
yeah.
song that says that, and that's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking
Mm.
of, but it's also a verse.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a psalm?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
one of the songs.
Oh, yeah.
I know it's one of the.
Is that
big
Psalm
songs.
73 maybe? I don't know.
I don't know,
Something like that.
Yeah.
but it's like,
I don't know.
you know, humble me, Lord, so that you can be
Yeah.
exalted.
Ooh,
I
asking
was
God
reading
to
that the
humble
other day.
us, bro, so hard for me. Like,
Mhm.
because you know He can do it. You know
Yeah,
He can
but
humble
it's
you
gonna
so
be,
quick.
It's gonna be uncomfortable.
It's gonna be so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Our faith,
And we
like
were
our
talking about that.
yeah, our journey and our faith is like slowly getting to God's
Yeah.
will. Like
Yeah.
even if we're like rushing, like even if we're like, God, why am I not perfect right now? Or like, why am I still struggling with this? Like
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
really hard.
prideful.
Mhm.
Why am I so, dude? You're not believing in God's will, because He can take that away from you any
Ooh,
second.
That's good.
That's really
I
good.
found myself thinking that like
Yeah.
reminded me, or like made me think about Addict Strav. Like, I was in this season of, like, you know, again, this is so convicting. I was thinking, okay, I've been in a season of, like, my worship and how I feel like I'm not where I want to be in it. I'm always comparing myself. I'm always basically being prideful because, like, I know it's for the Lord. I tell myself that. Me and Alexa pray usually before every time we sing, but just the moments we don't, something ends up going wrong. And so recently I've been in that season because I've been thinking about me. And even when I disregard that and tell myself, like, no, I know I'm not thinking about myself. I'm thinking about the Lord. I still find myself with, like, in the same circle. Well, what if I sound bad? What if I'm getting judged? That's, like, the epitome of pride. So at Extrav, you said you even asking, like, why am I still in this season is prideful. That was, like, my prayer to the Lord. I was asking him, when am I going to be out of this season? I'm tired of it. Like, I love the gift you've given me. I love using it. But it was so hard. It's so hard for me to continue. I thought about, like, I talked to Michael about this, and I even was in my own head and thinking, well, maybe I'm not supposed to be doing worship. Maybe I'm supposed to be doing something else that has to do with, you know, what's it called? Ministry. That happens to not be worship. Maybe I'm just a good singer. And Michael kind of talked some sense into me, and then we prayed after that, and I was like, what am I doing? That's so prideful. Like, why am I thinking, what if I'm not supposed to be doing this? What if I sound bad? What if this? Why am I in this season? God puts you in seasons for a reason. He might be telling me this, like, hey, like it's like the whole constructive criticism thing. You might be putting me in the season, thinking, like, hey, you're getting prideful. You're starting to think more about yourself. Start thinking about me. You're doing this for me, not yourself. And I thought about that.
Yeah, like, he's gonna put you in a season that you're not ready for, that you yourself aren't ready for.
But he knows he knows you are.
Yeah, he's ready for you to be in it.
Yeah, but you're, that's so good. That is good. That's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so speaking of, worship has leader, prayer warriors over here. That's leadership. So in leadership, what's the danger of pride? What's the value of humility? We can start with pride. So what do you think the dangers of pride are? I feel like we talked about that a lot, but counting on fingers, it's blank, blank, blank.
Yeah. I just think the big thing that I like notice is like separation.
Yeah. From what, community?
Yeah, from your in the community.
Yeah.
Like separation.
I
and
agree.
Just, I don't know, it's really destructive, like on you
sin,
yourself.
Yeah. That's good.
And it's crazy how it's literally like you're literally like saying, no, I'm better than you, God. Like, I know better.
Oh my gosh.
You're literally like choosing death in that choice. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like once you're like, oh, I'm leading people. I have influence over people.
Yeah.
Like, dude, your flesh is gonna come for you.
Your flesh is gonna eat you alive.
Yeah, like, it's such a gift. Being a leader is such a gift. But the second that, like, you let the enemy in because you're too comfortable in your leadership, it's like, bro.
Yeah, and I've found myself in that. You can't get comfortable in that. You have to feel, like, when you're being prideful, I feel like, as Christians, we should feel so uncomfortable in that. Like, the moment you start talking good about yourself, especially on stage, you should feel so, like, oh, sorry, I need to leave. I need to take a second. Let me go take a mindful minute.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Like, we should be uncomfortable doing that because it's a sin. But it's so normalized nowadays. I think it's so hard when things are so normalized in the world, and then us who are living in the world, we're like, oh, this is a normal thing.
We're not of it, but we're in it.
But we're not supposed to be of the world. We're supposed to look different and be different.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're supposed to bring heaven here.
And I feel like that's exactly it. That's the danger of pride. Living in a world full of it when we know we're not of it.
Yeah, living in a world where, like, the outcome is death.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
If you die with your pride, dude.
Sad.
That's really sad. Please don't do that.
Yeah. Okay, so
please find Jesus.
Okay, but leadership. There's this one song that I used to listen to all the time, and it's talking about it's called "Follow the Leader."
Oh yeah.
But it's like we're not the leaders, Jesus is. But then
Mm.
Jesus puts us in places of leadership over,
Like disciples.
yes, like disciples.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he says that's why some people burn out, because they're leading instead of following. But we should be following Jesus, and then following in
That's
his
so
example.
good.
But following in Jesus'
Yeah.
example, we lead to others,
Mm.
like, and disciple others
Wow.
through following Jesus'
Clip it. That's
example.
good.
That's really good.
Okay, so speaking of being leaders and stuff, I feel like that takes humility. You know, Jesus was a leader. All his disciples were. Being on the cross takes so much humility. So what's the value of having humility, being humble? We know what's bad about pride, so what's good about being humble?
I read a lot of verses about this, and it's like with humility or wisdom and humility.
Mm.
Oh, it was humility and honor, I think, go together, and like wisdom loves humility, but then it
that's
despises pride,
Mm-hmm.
and like
That's good.
Yeah, I think like whenever you take that, you're just becoming more like Jesus, and obviously you
And
can't
that's
be
our
like,
whole goal.
oh, I'm becoming more like Jesus, you know, because like the devil's gonna try and do that, but like genuinely, if you're doing that, that's so good.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, this is like the main verse I had for this, and it's like, for it is by grace you have been saved,
Mm.
not by works, like not by anything we did, so that no one can boast. That's
Mm.
literally what it
That's
says.
good.
It's like, it's not anything we did. It's all by grace.
Ugh,
Just grace, so
That's
that
so
we
good.
can't boast in
because
what we
without
do
grace,
ourselves.
we wouldn't be here.
Yeah,
like,
literally.
Yeah, I think pride is a manipulation of God's grace, especially for us
That's
as Christians.
good. It is. That's again. That should be like the definition of it,
Mm-hmm.
because, yeah, that's good.
You're just stepping on Jesus' blood, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
That's not cool.
That's good. Okay, so one of our last things is the encouragement and application of this. So, how can we encourage others to walk in humility? Like we said, we know pride's bad. We know it's not good. We shouldn't do it. We all struggle with it. So how do you continue to walk in humility? Finding that line, you know, without, you know, I'm being humble, you know, because then what is that? That's pride.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I think it is really hard, but just like asking the Lord to reveal those things, like
and prayer. Yeah.
and ask Him to humble you, just strike
Which,
you
again,
down when you get
so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because, like,
really
He
hard.
will. You can be humbled so quick. Like I said that earlier. Like, God, what do I need to fix for myself? Oh, you got
And
this,
humbled.
this, and this. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, the Lord revealing things to you can come in so many ways. It can
Yeah.
come from simply
Because
just
He works in mysterious ways.
it can come from simply just going to like a track meet and just like not doing your best,
Yeah.
or it can go
To singing on stage.
all the way
and
to
messing up.
like just like God literally speaking to you and revealing Himself.
That's good.
And I think God's revelation is really humble
Mm-hmm.
in itself.
Yeah, because it might not be what you want to hear.
Mhm.
Yeah.
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 And the other thing is just like being open to constructive criticism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Not like, no, I'm doing good. Like, I know I asked
And,
for
like-
your help, but I don't need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like most of us, like especially in our group, like we've been in that season of like, oh, I'm good,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
which is great.
That's
But-
amazing.
But
That
it's
you
like-
feel that way.
I feel like we were talking about this at Brighter Girls something, but it was like someone said something, and it was like when we're on the mountain, that's when like we're most like when we think we're the highest in our faith and we're doing so good. Then that's when the enemy's gonna try, and
Yeah.
like that's when we're like the most susceptible
It's
because
like-
we're blind to everything.
Yes,
Mhm.
it's like what Michael said. If you think you're not prideful and you don't live a prideful
Yeah,
life,
then
you're
you are
prideful. Like you,
Check
you,
yourself
you
before
need to
you
check
wreck
yourself.
yourself.
Yeah. So, yeah,
Yeah, that's actually really good. That's
Mm-hmm.
and it's like the whole thing. If you feel like, no, I'm steady, like I'm good, I'm reading the Bible. You're never.
You're like,
you should never stay there.
No,
You should
just
never-
keep doing
you
it.
should never be
Keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going. Keep going.
make it harder.
Yeah,
You
literally.
should never be in a like. We are all the time, but like we really shouldn't be in a comfortable
Yeah.
position. Like
Yeah, like
Yeah, like-
Sean said, we're
It's gonna be
so used to being
uncomfortable.
cushioned
Mhm.
and stuff instead of like strengthening our faith, like using the seasons as
Yeah.
like leverage to get higher to Jesus. You know,
like yes, we have the seasons of like rest and peace, but we should always be like. The Lord is always growing us into like
Yes.
trying to move us more.
Yeah,
to
we
Him.
can't get comfortable in our seasons of reaping.
Oh, that's good. Because if you
Mhm.
stay there, you're not gonna get anywhere. You're gonna
Right.
stay like, oh, it's fine.
Because you have to have a season of sowing. You
Mhm.
have to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good. So, what does it look like for the body of Christ to collectively move away from pride? Because it's hard to like do it on your own. You know that like
Yeah.
in the Bible it says we need community, we need our friends there to help us. So I'm not gonna just like take myself and be like, okay, I'm gonna go help myself with pride. Y'all do you. like it's like we
Yeah,
all
we
have our
can't-
own seasons,
we
we have our
can't
own
isolate
struggles, but yeah. So how do you think we would, like, what do you think, what do you imagine that looking like?
I think isolating ourselves is really dangerous. Like I could go off on that. There's
That's
so
good.
much
Go
on
for
that.
it.
Oh no.
Yeah, go for it.
No, like there's just like a lot you can say on that, you know?
Yes,
Like
I agree.
isolation
I agree.
is so
It's
dangerous.
scary. That's not what the Lord
And-
has for
Yeah,
us.
we literally weren't made for that.
Mhm.
We were made for people.
Yeah, that's so good.
Anyway.
Like at Extrav, when we had that moment when we all just like were sitting over by this like, and we were all just like fellowshipping and like either taking naps, whether it was listening to music, sleeping, talking
Yeah,
to
Oh
each
yeah,
that's
that
other.
was fun.
I
That was
loved
so
that
good.
because we're made for people. Like,
yes.
why would you want to go
Just-
sit in a corner by yourself?
Just
Be
felt
so
like
for
that.
real.
But whenever we're isolated, like that's when the enemy attacks us the
Mhm.
most, because there's no one else there's not our fellowship.
Yeah, and
friends
to like
to
bounce
remind
off
us of
that.
the
Yeah,
truth.
man wasn't made to be
That's good.
alone.
Sometimes you can be
Yeah,
blind to the truth whenever you're stuck in that.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
But yeah, encouraging each other and
Mm-hmm.
constructive criticism,
And taking it.
keeping
both
each other
sides.
accountable. Yeah, taking
Mhm.
both sides.
That's
Both
good.
ways.
So speaking of that, doing constructive criticism, how can we lovingly tell our friends who are struggling with pride? Like, let's say, like, I come to you, like, Naomi, you're seeming I'm not gonna come up to you and say, hey, so you've kind of been like such a jerk. Let's fix that. You've been mean. You've been this and this and this. And oh, by the way, you're being so prideful. All of that adds up. I'm not gonna
Mhm.
do that. And
Mhm.
if someone does
Yeah.
do that, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, you have to come up from a place of love,
Mm-hmm.
and love is like
yeah.
love's patient. Like
Yeah.
the
That's
Bible
very
says,
good,
love
yeah,
is
yeah.
patient and kind, and it cares. You have
Yeah.
to really have intention,
Yeah.
and if your intention is just to like be like, you need to be humbled.
Basically, yeah.
You need to check your intentions.
Yeah, that's good.
So
But I think it should also be like if you have a problem with someone and you're like, you feel like you should talk to them about it, you should go by yourselves with them, like just
Mhm.
you two, because
Yes.
yeah,
it's not about
you're
like
embarrassing them if you're
yeah,
talking to them.
you're
in
literally
front
being
of
yeah,
pride
yeah.
for yourself. But if
Ugh,
you're doing it in front of
yes.
everyone else, because you're like,
You think you're better. And
oh
like,
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
mhm.
better than this person, I'm gonna show it to all these people.
Ugh,
But like
wow.
it shouldn't be like that. It should just be
yeah. Constructive
'Cause it
criticism
says-
is so important.
Mhm.
In the Bible, it's like when you have a problem with your brother, go to him directly and talk
Mhm.
to him.
That's
Mm.
good.
And then if the problem consists, then you get a
That was like a
trusted-
key motto in our volleyball team a couple
Yes.
years ago with your
With
mom
my mom.
coaching.
Yeah,
I love
she
that.
loves
Still to this day, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all the questions I have. So any key takeaway points from this podcast about
Mhm.
pride and humility? Two very strong words in the Bible.
Mhm. Pride is coming for you.
Mm.
It is
Mhm.
coming for you, and it will destroy you if you don't have the Lord.
Yeah, that's
Mm.
good. Because without the Lord, who are we?
Mm-hmm.
Like, He is
Yeah.
the one who sustains us, who fulfills us. He died on the cross for our sins. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness, there's one more thing. I totally forgot about this.
Oh, that's okay.
It's like, Paul's like, if we're to boast in anything, we should boast in our weaknesses.
Ooh,
Ooh,
that's
like-
good.
And
Then
as,
we
oh my
can't-
gosh,
we
oh my
can't.
gosh, Naomi. And as humans, that's so hard because we're so prideful. We want to
Yeah.
talk about what we did right because that's how we
Uh-huh.
fit in
Yeah.
with crowds. You don't go up to someone and say, "Hey, so actually, I just tripped my friend." Like you, you go up and say like, "Oh, hey, what's your name? What, blah blah blah. Oh, you do volleyball? I do volleyball too. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, you like this? I like this. Oh, I'm actually really, good," you know,
Mhm,
that's like how we
like
fit in.
comparison.
Yeah, that's good.
But yeah, because in another verse, it's like, in our weaknesses, His glory
Mm-hmm.
is like
Oh, that's
most
good.
shown.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
Sean.
Oh, that's good. I think that kind of in closing, I think it's good to recognize that pride isn't a weakness. It's it's a strength to have, you know? Like if we're choosing, okay, sorry, I have it written down. If we're choosing humility, is how we reflect Jesus is best. Let's keep each other accountable and walk in truth. You know,
Mhm.
like we all agree that humility is how we come together, how we come close to Jesus. That being proud of something you've done is not bad. It's okay to be like, oh, I did this.
Yeah.
I think this is good.
But without
Mhm.
like the comparison.
You
of
can't
other
compare. You
people.
can't exalt.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the Bible says, "Be strong and courageous."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good.
So we need to be courageous. We need to have courage. We need to have
And-
boldness. But
Mhm.
once again, that's manipulated by the enemy
Mhm.
and by us.
Yeah.
So we just got to be careful for that.
Yeah, that's good.
And also, whenever
Yeah.
constructive criticism,
Mm-hmm.
you have to be compassionate. You have to be gentle,
Mhm.
and you have to be
Yeah.
caring. Because, like, bro, I can't go up to you being like, dude, I can't believe you would do this.
Yeah.
And you would not take that well.
Yeah.
No one takes that well.
No one likes
Yeah.
being yelled at.
Like, realistically, you might act like, all right, yeah.
Yeah, like not.
But, like, if you give the person
Yeah.
compassion and time to think about it,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
they'll really soak it in.
Yeah.
Because if you come at someone with like angry and like attacking them, then when people feel attacked,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
gonna want to like protect themselves.
Yeah.
So they're gonna be like
Mm-hmm.
defensive about it, and they're not gonna actually accept and like hear what you say.
So I think that's all we have for you guys today for the podcast. Do y'all have anything else you want to add right before we close?
Yeah, sure. Please, like, just surrender to Jesus. Like, that's the only way your pride's going to be taken away.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's okay to be weak. It's okay to show your weakness. Because, like you said,
vulnerability. Yeah.
that the Lord shines in weakness. Like, we struggle with this. This is not easy. This is an everyday struggle. It's hard. Sometimes even for me, it's hard whenever I wake up early to read my Bible to not be like, huh, I did it. You know? It's
Yes.
it's like it's
Because
hard.
we're bound to feel proud of
Yeah.
ourselves for doing something, you know? Because like, how else would we get through the day? Like, if you were just like mopey and like,
Yeah.
I have nothing
But
to live
that's-
for.
That's
But
putting our pride
have
in the
Jesus.
world. That's putting our pride in things.
But yeah, just also just be patient with yourself because the Lord is patient with you.
He's so patient with us.
Just have mercy on yourself. Don't get comfortable in it,
Uh-huh.
but just have mercy on
Yeah.
yourself because we're all gonna mess up. That's all I
Yeah.
really have for that.
That's good. So, thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you guys, Sean and Naomi, for being on this podcast with me
Of
today.
course.
Wow, this is really good. Wow. So thank you guys so much for joining me. You guys were amazing, the best guests ever. So I just really encourage you guys to come back, watch this on Spotify, listen to this on Spotify and YouTube,
I think
comment,
you can watch it
and
on
share.
Spotify. I think there's also
Oh
video.
yeah, there's this new thing. Yeah, you can watch it while you're there. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. Love you guys.